In the ancient city of Jerusalem, during the reign of Emperor Tiberius, a man named Jesus of Nazareth emerged, preaching a radical message of love, compassion, and forgiveness. His teachings attracted a large following, yet also stirred animosity among the religious authorities who feared his influence. Jesus had become known not only for his teachings but also for performing miracles, healing the sick, restoring sight to the blind, and even raising the dead. This began to unsettle the Roman authorities, who viewed any form of disturbance as potentially threatening to their rule. As the Jewish Passover festival approached, Jesus entered Jerusalem riding on a donkey, to the acclamation of a crowd waving palm branches and hailing him as the Messiah. This event, known as the Triumphal Entry, intensified the perceived threat he posed to the established order. In the days that followed, Jesus drove out the money changers from the temple, condemning the practices of those who had turned a house of prayer into a den of thieves. This decisive act compounded the resolve of the religious leaders to put an end to his influence. A plot was hatched among the chief priests and scribes to arrest Jesus and bring him to trial. They found a willing accomplice in Judas Iscariot, one of Jesus' disciples, who agreed to betray him for 30 pieces of silver. On the evening of the Passover, Jesus gathered with his disciples for a final meal, where he spoke of his impending betrayal and instituted the ritual of breaking bread and sharing wine as symbols of his body and blood. This Last Supper marked a poignant moment of teaching and prophecy. Later that night, in the Garden of Gethsemane, Jesus prayed fervently, aware of the suffering that awaited him. It was there that Judas led a group of soldiers to arrest him. Jesus was taken away, and his disciples were scattered in fear. The trial of Jesus was swift, held under cover of night before the Sanhedrin, the ruling Jewish council. He was accused of blasphemy for claiming to be the Son of God. Despite the lack of credible evidence, the council deemed him guilty. Jesus was then brought before Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor, who found no fault in him but bowed to public pressure, as the crowd demanded Jesus' crucifixion. To symbolically distance himself from the decision, Pilate washed his hands before the assembly. Condemned to death, Jesus was scourged and mocked by Roman soldiers, who dressed him in a purple robe and twisted a crown of thorns onto his head. Weakened and in pain, he was forced to carry his cross to the place of execution. The procession led to Golgotha, the place of the skull, a hill outside Jerusalem where the Romans executed criminals. There, Jesus was nailed to the cross, with a sign placed above his head reading, "Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews." As he hung on the cross, Jesus spoke words of forgiveness even for those who crucified him and comforted one of the criminals crucified alongside him. The sky darkened, and upon his final breath, an earthquake shook the land, tearing the temple curtain in two. Following his death, Jesus' body was taken down by Joseph of Arimathea, a secret disciple, and placed in a tomb hewn from rock, sealed with a large stone. On the third day following his crucifixion, women who came to anoint his body found the stone rolled away and the tomb empty. Angels appeared to them, proclaiming that Jesus had risen from the dead. The resurrection was a cornerstone for what would become the Christian faith, a testament to Jesus' teachings, his ultimate sacrifice, and the belief in everlasting life. This pivotal moment transformed his followers, spreading the message of salvation throughout the world.